Hey, Rusty and Dave and Ryan and Felix, be with you in just 1 second. We're going to get things started. Also, Ian, a new name here. Ian, glad to have you joining me. Get ready for some fun. Okay, let's start this, shall we? Pardon me for the throat clearing. Hello and welcome to the show. Glad to have you joining me tonight. And it's what, the 19th of July in 2020? And the world is on fire to some degree. I'm a little unshorn today. This is my Sunday get-up. Did go to work for a little while. Got a few things done. And worked a little on the studio. Did you get a chance to check out the show on Newsmax TV this weekend? I thought it went really well, actually. The numbers are huge, if any indication. The Facebook requests that I'm getting from around the country, it's a little overwhelming. Robert, hello, and Mindy, glad to have you joining me tonight. Much to get to with regard to the madness in Portland, particularly, and how it needs to end. And I will go ahead and say by any means necessary. All right, right now we have something happening in Portland, Oregon that is an incursion. It is an incursion. It is not a protest. It is attacks on police departments. It is attacks on a federal courthouse. It is sedition, and it should be met with force. And if it has to be met with lethal force, then it should be met with lethal force, if lethal force is being used against the authorities. If that happens, then the gloves come off. That's it. The people who are involved in this need to go to jail for a very long time. This is not protests. This certainly is not peaceful protest. This is sedition against the United States government. And if you believe that Confederate statues need to come down and that we should not celebrate traitors with regard to those who were involved in the Civil War on the Confederate side, then you must say these people are seditious and they are attempting to take down the country and they need to be put in jail for a very long time. These are children. They are spoiled and they are entitled. They have not learned the lessons of history. They've sat around with their faculty, college faculty, and they've mentally masturbated in the faculty lounge about idiotic premises like communism is a great way to run a government. It's just never been done right. Same way with socialism, even though the body counts over 100 million people last century. Tired of this shit? And if you dare put a hammer and sickle on your shield, you little son of a bitch, get the F out of the country. Get the F out of the country. Go to Cuba. I would love this president to say, if you would like to experience socialism or communism, we will send you to Cuba. If you would like to leave and go to a country that is socialistic, we will gladly pay your airfare. Maybe even accommodations for a few weeks. But you're not going to turn this country into that. You're not going to turn this country into that. Antifa, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is such a joke. If you support Black Lives Matter and you think there's some innocent little organization that is all about, David says, mic processing, a little overmodulated. Let me turn it down, Mike. David, is that bad? Dave, is that better? Dave, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Dave, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Let me get a note from Dave. Sorry, it's a little bit, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Is that better, David? David, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Does that sound better, Dave? Sorry, dude. Yeah, I can't really tell. How about now? 1, 2, 3. Much better? Okay. Sorry about that. Let's try it again. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. You can still hear me okay, right? Okay. Cool. Just wanted to know. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm a one-man show, so I'm kind of running it all myself. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I don't want to... My voice is annoying enough anyway. You know. So as I was saying, we're not going that way, kids. You can try all you want, but you are not going to convert the United States into your socialist workers' paradise. It's not effing going to happen. And I will tell you why. And if you really want to F with me, and you want to F with the nation's patriots, and you want to F with people who believe that the police should be funded, and you believe that there's nothing wrong with standing during the national anthem, and that we are the greatest democracy, not really democracy, representative republic in the history of mankind that has created the most wealth, the most freedom than any country in the history of the world, that if the United States did not exist, we would still have nomadic tribes in this country. We would still have we would probably not have we would not have experienced the Industrial Revolution. Let me just put it that way. We wouldn't have rock and roll. We wouldn't have an American football. We wouldn't have American baseball. We wouldn't have the blues. We wouldn't have jazz. We wouldn't have the space program. We wouldn't have flight. Blah, 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 blah. So if you want to try and overthrow the country, turn it into a socialist workers' paradise, or into a communist workers' paradise, bring it, because we on the conservative side of the political spectrum are much better armed physically and intellectually and certainly morally than you little punk ass bitches on the left. Okay, all right, there you go. Okay, Keith says it sounds better. Craig says it sounds better. All that stuff. So let's get to the video, shall we? I'm going to start with this is Portland Union headquarters, police union headquarters. So in Portland, they have officially declared a riot. They have declared a riot because of the 50 days of riotous activities by Antifa in Portland, and the mayor is a criminal. The mayor needs to be removed. The mayor is a wimp, a fop, a limp-wristed pussy. Reason why the DHS, and by the way, if you're talking, I talked to somebody today, what did you think about those stormtroopers and those people going into Portland? I said, they're not stormtroopers, they're DHS agents, and they have every right to be there and every right to arrest and haul off these criminals to jail. Acting Secretary of Homeland Security Chad Wolf condemned the riots, and that's why they've sent in DHS agents. Starting on May 29, 2020, Violent anarchists broke a front window at Hatfield Courthouse. Violent anarchists graffitied the Hatfield Courthouse. It goes on and on for 50 days. Night of rage, 400 to 500 people protesting, devolved into riots, assaulting police officers on 7/7. 6 violent anarchists were detained on 7/12. 200 individuals armed with sledgehammers, tasers, and or stun guns gathered in Chapman Park across from Hatfield Courthouse, blah, 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 blah. It is time for the children to get spanked, and if that means spanked in an injurious way, F yeah. It's over. Here is the police union headquarters yesterday. This is where they finally, after 50 days, decided, yeah, it's a riot. Now, these punk-ass little bitches have attempted to shut police stations with officers inside and burn them down. They have wrecked Portland. They have caused millions of dollars worth of damage. They have caused millions of dollars of damage across the country. This started with Occupy 10 years ago. I was in Washington, D.C. when it happened. It was a joke then. It was the same movement. It's the same people, except for some of them now in their 30s instead of their 20s, and other people have joined them. Here is some of the sights and sounds of Portland. Here is some dipshit Antifa outside of the Hatfield Courthouse. What he decided to do was he would attempt to smash an officer's head with a hammer as the officer came out of the courthouse. Now, the courthouse is boarded up, and I'm going to share some video that's going to really piss you off if you have any common sense or patriotism. But this punk decided, I'm gonna hit an officer over the head. I'm going to crush an officer's skull with a hammer. Didn't go so well. Okay, not just one officer. Watch this. And now they're going to get a beat down. The children need a spanking. The children need a spanking. And as I said, if that needs to be injurious, so be it. If they decide to bring lethal force against authorities, then lethal force will be necessary. We ain't effing around anymore. We're not effing around anymore. And if you think that supporting Black Lives Matter and the Antifa and tearing down monuments and all that is going to win for Democrats in November, you're high. You're out of your effing nut. It's not going to happen. Hold on. Okay. Here is the mayor, Ted Wheeler. Ted Wheeler's he's just so upset. He's like, oh my God, do you realize the violence here? I know it's been going on for 50 days and they've been wrecking everything, but seriously, Trump's only making it worse. He's only making it worse. Listen to this effing moron. He's about right on the same level with Lori Lightfoot in Chicago. Right on the same level with the idiot mayor of Seattle. What a joke that was. Right on the same level with de Blasio. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But here this dumbass is saying, get your troops out of here, just making things worse. We'd just rather have the city burn on its own.
The words and actions from President Trump and the Department of Homeland Security have shown that this is an attack on our democracy. I stand with our senators, representatives, and our state, county, and city leaders in denouncing their presence. Over the past week, President Trump has used our...
This is like a 14-year-old who's doing a driving lesson, and they used to have these things where the driving instructor would sit on the other side, and they'd have their own steering wheel and their own brake and everything. And this is when Donald Trump is on the driver's side saying, okay, clearly this kid does not know what the F he's doing.
As a staging ground to further his political agenda, igniting his base to cause further divisiveness.
Igniting his base. Nobody's igniting anybody's base, but your followers and Antifa are igniting a lot of buildings.
And in doing so, endangering...
You are a mindless, lunatic, limp-wristed fop.
Portlanders. President Trump has gone so far as vowing that federal law enforcement will, quote, dominate, unquote, protesters and mobilize.
I heard you like domination, to be honest, Tom. I just something that was kind of going, or Ted, I heard there's something going around the internet. You love that domination.
Federal agencies to operate in cities.
Liberals really like masochism. They like self-hatred, so they probably love that.
This is an explicit abuse of power and places federal officers and Oregonians in danger.
No, not really. It puts the police officers in the federal buildings that Antifa is blocking and trying to burn down in danger. You effing moron.
Mr. President, federal agencies should never be used as your own personal army.
Okay, I can't take any more of this insufferable douche. Hello, Jeannie. Hello, Carol. Hello, Bill. Hello, Richard. How are you? We've got two different Facebook pages going, Rob Carson and Rob Carson Show. Ryan and Craig and Keith, hello, hello, hello. Thanks to you, Dave, for straightening out. Dave Campbell, my friend in Chicago. How's Chicago, brother? We're going to get to Chicago in a few minutes with the Christopher Columbus statue there. And I hope that results in a lot of arrests. I hope it results in a lot of arrests because there are at least 400 cases nationally of people destroying federal property, and they're going to go to jail. They're going to go to pound your ass prison for a while. And they should. And they should. By the way, these are some of my T-shirts up here. A friend of mine named San Cangelosi and I, we came up with these, done with the NFL, hashtag done with the NFL, hashtag done with the NBA. Okay? These are good because I'm not going to watch football this year, and I hate it. I really hate it. But if they're going to do the separate black anthem, there's for wearing face masks. If they're going to do that, and if they're going to kneel during the national anthem, and you're going to make the NBA political, F them. I'll start listening when you stop burning shit. That's the Blue Lives Matter flag. Okay? The thin blue line flag. Here is Riot Day 50 in Portland. Now, this is the federal courthouse, okay? Tom Wheeler, the mayor of Portland, just said that we do not need federal agents here. Everything is under control. There's nobody in danger. Donald Trump is putting people in danger. There are people in that building. There are police officers in that building right now. I'm going to show you these sick sons of bitches. And Shelby, I'm glad you enjoyed Pound Your Ass Prison, because that's where I want these people to go. They're trying to block people in the building. Okay, they want to wreck the building and they want to burn it down with people inside. God, send a whole bunch of those DHS agents in there and just grab them and take them. If I found out one of these was my kids, I'd take them home and give them a pounding. I'm just going to tell you. And I'm not into corporal punishment. Only when it's between two adults in the privacy of their own bedroom. Here, now watch these little bastards. Watch these bastards because they feel like they're getting away with something because the police have been relatively easy on them and they've been able to scream in their faces and all that stuff for months now. This is one of these little pricks who is emboldened, even though he's a pussy. He's never done anything in his life. He can't bench press his own weight. And here he is yelling through the window and taunting the police. And I would just love to see one of them come out and beat his little ass. Here it is.
We're going to applause, piggy!
Call him a piggy.
We're all going to...
Oh, yeah, this is kind of like a throwback to 1984. Warriors come out and play. Except for these guys are little wusses, again, who couldn't bench press their own weight. God, I would love to come out of there and just take them down. Oh, I'm going to hit a stick on here. Yeah.
Come on in, Bulltown! Come on in, boys! What you got, boys?
Look, what you got, boy? And he's beating the stick there, and they're taking pictures of it like they're really dominant.
What you got?
These guys woke up at noon today in their parents' basement, by the way. Mom, do we have any more Eggos? I'm going to the protest today. Oh, can I have one of those Lunchables with the cheese and the crackers? And can I get the Crustable peanut butter and jelly? Because I don't like the crust on the bread. Thanks, Mom. And juice box, please. Thanks. I'd like to take that helmet off and say, bring it. Bring it.
Come
Filthy dirtbag effing pig. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Want to fight?
Well, there's some older middle-aged guy who should know better. He's probably a pedophile. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is Andy No on Fox News. They were talking about the federal crackdown because they've got all these, these plainclothes, troublesome DHS agents coming in and arresting people and all this, even though, we're dealing with masked people who have been acting with impunity and destroying and burning and causing billions of dollars worth of damage in the country, and burning and taking over police stations, and burning and looting and injuring and bloodying in their masks. And here is why it's cool that Donald Trump has said, you know what, I'm going to send some agents in and we go bust some heads.
Okay, so listen, this has been going on. I think we're on our 50th night, Andy. I know you've been there. You've been in the midst of it. There are folks there who are saying it's like stop and frisk meets Guantanamo Bay. They say people who are protesters, who aren't doing anything wrong, are being abducted by federal authorities. Can you tell us anything like this, or what you saw while you were there on the ground?
Nah, they're being arrested.
No, that is an anti-pop talking point that's being repeated by sympathetic media. So all federal law enforcement agencies are going to have unmarked vehicles so that they can do surveillance and discreet arrests of people who are evading arrest, right? So it's no surprise, and it's quite obvious that they would use unmarked vehicles to discreetly pull up to violent criminal suspects and arrest them with minimal or no force. And the reason why people are bringing this up as a distraction is because it's quite effective. The federal law enforcement have made numerous arrests.
By the way, Andrew No has been beaten. He has been maced by Antifa, just trying to tell the story.
It's a short time in the city of Portland, and they've bringing...
Oh, that's somebody very pretty there, just there at the protest. Look at that fabulous pink hat. It's almost like a captain's hat. That's super. Look at the fall-off shoulder thing. That's so fantastic.
Serious charges of assault against law enforcement, destruction of federal property, and...
There's white power, whatever, man. I'm wearing my underwear and I don't have my shirt on. Yeah, raise a fist to Black Lives Matter, even though I'm a white guy.
This is just an Antifa talking point.
Okay, so the ACLU is suing over this tonight.
Oh, sorry, I'm just looking for a liquor store. Never mind.
They are suing DHS and the U.S. Marshal Service also. One of their interim legal directors says this: federal agents are terrorizing the community, risking lives, and brutally attacking protesters. These federal agents must be stopped and removed from our city.
I disagree. I think they need to be cheered on.
I mean, John, they say that this is unconstitutional.
Not at all.
And the feds have
What's unconstitutional is trying to take over the federal courthouse
place there
and injuring police officers.
What's the law say?
That sounds more like a press release than a legal complaint. There's nothing wrong with federal agencies arresting people if those people are suspected of carrying out federal crimes. Here, there are several that might be at stake. You've got accounts of protesters attacking federal agents,
Seriously, this is what you wear to a protest? You're going to wear a pink captain's hat and an off-the-shoulder kind of outfit there?
Federal buildings, or they may be trying to interfere with the execution of federal law. It doesn't matter whether the city mayor or the governor of the state wants federal officials out.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you can't drive the car, the driving instructor takes over. Chris, how you doing, my buddy? Chris, my friend from Newsmax, who has a very popular show on Newsmax, Chris Salcedo. Awesome guy. Joyce Fowler, hello. As I said earlier, what's going on in this country, what's going on in Seattle, and well, not Seattle so much anymore. Did you notice that these municipalities just kind of disappear? When the feds come in and they kick ass, they just kind of disappear from the headlines. All right, do you remember there was a guy in Minneapolis, right? It was Minneapolis, right? Yeah. George Floyd. Minneapolis, George Floyd. Minneapolis was destroyed, $550 million worth of damage. The governor of Minnesota said, we want money to fix it. Donald Trump said, pound sand. And then it was forgotten, and then Minneapolis was forgotten. Hello, Carl. Then we moved on to other municipalities, Seattle, and then we had the Chaz movement, which is like effing joke, and the CHOP movement. And since that was a gigantic faceplant, the national media moved on, and the socialists moved on, and now Portland is doing the new hotbed. And Portland is ugly, and it is going to go down. It is going to go down. And federal authorities are going to go in, and they're going to kick some ass, and they're going to do what it takes. And it is going to mean injurious results. And if they are met with lethal force, then the federal authorities will meet lethal force with lethal force. And these children don't realize what they're messing with. They're not armed very well intellectually. They are emboldened by the fact that they're able to scream and they're able to rage and they're able to be, somebody's going to have a cell phone on them and they have the anonymity of wearing a mask. But you children are going to get your asses handed to you, and it's going to result with you being imprisoned or injured or worse. Okay? There's only so much you can do. And you're like, but what about Tiananmen Square? Was that? No, Tiananmen Square was a peaceful protest. They were legitimately up against the communist mob that had killed 60+ million people of their own people. And there was a peaceful protest. And they were crushed summarily. They were crushed in their bodies in Tiananmen Square, were crushed to a slurry and blown into sewer grates. And, of course, the left in that country covered it up completely. This is completely different. This is not about freedom. This is about a movement toward less freedom, towards one thought, one way of government. That is communism or socialism, which has failed and resulted in a body count of over 100 million people last century. But because academics and little pussified socialists have not paid attention to history, they want to try and repeat it because they're ignorant. They're ignorant. This is Lilith Sinclair. Lilith Sinclair is she's like a, not a transgender. Hold on. There's a description for Lilith Sinclair. She's mentally ill. Hold on. Mentally ill. Where is it? This person, I got to do the description of this person. This description of this person here. Here it is. Okay. So Lilith Sinclair is like a non-binary Native American, African American, something or other. And anyway, this is her exposing. Thank God, this is the only thing she's exposing. The real goal of Black Lives Matter.
Hi everyone. As many of you know, my name is Lilith Sinclair. I'm an Afro-Indigenous, non-binary local organizer here in Portland.
I'm an Afro-Indigenous. What the hell? All right. Okay. Let's hear that again.
I'm an Afro-Indigenous, non-binary local organizer here.
I'm an Afro-Indigenous, non-binary organizer. I'm going to have to digest that one.
Portland. Organizing for the
we don't even know what you are. We're not even sure. Are you half hamster? You could be half hamster. Yay, she's half hamster.
Of not just the militarized police state, but also the United States as we know it.
Yeah. Look at the priest behind. This is really funny. This is a priest behind her. A priest who, under socialism, I mean, tens of millions of Christians were murdered by socialists and Nazis. And this complete effing moron is applauding her. Let's hear what she is again. What? Go ahead.
My name is Lilith Sinclair. I'm an Afro-Indigenous, non-binary local organizer here in Portland.
I should come up with my own kind of. I actually have more Native American blood than Elizabeth Warren, but I'm not going to claim it. I want to say I'm an Anglo-Irish, Germanic, cisgendered, pizza-loving, steak-loving guy.
For the abolition of not just the militarized police state, but also the United States as we know it. I want to make
you have something on your lip there, just on the right. Oh, it's a piercing. Never mind.
Sure that while we are standing here on stolen land, we make sure to do a land acknowledgement.
We're stolen land. Well, you know what? Here's the deal. Give up your house. Okay. Give up your Chris, I'm heteronormal. Well, I'm not really normal, but I am hetero. Thank you very much. Yeah, honestly, wow. This is a child. This is a child, and I had mentioned this before. That person, the Anglo-hetero cis, well, I don't know what the hell she is. What the hell? I don't know what it is. She's probably a vegan. But anyway, this is the reason why the non-candy checkout is in the grocery store. Because some parents weren't able to tell their kids, no, you can't have any candy. Or that's just it. Some people weren't able to, and so you've got a group of children who, mom and they had to create a non-candy aisle. So this group of children who couldn't say no, their parents could take them there so they wouldn't throw a fit and embarrass their parents. That's what this is all about. It's kind of a metaphor for the whole thing. Honestly. Oh, this is funny. Let's do a little comedy break here, okay? I'm not sure who put this together. This is a movie. If 2020 were to be cast with celebrities and made into a movie, this is what it would look like. And this is not the movie trailer. It is a take, like a documentary about the making of the movie. Let's watch a little bit of this, shall we?
First time, I think, acting that I had put on a costume and really felt like the character. I think, whether you're playing a god or a human or whatever, you make it real.
She's just so self-involved. She has no social graces, let's put it that way. And she does a lot of horrible things. She wants to keep her lifestyle going.
But it was all a kind of a mistake that he's got so... He believed in something that wasn't actually true. So he's this kind of angry, nasty, scary person who lives in this horrible old buggy place.
It's so much fun not to think about anything but just this crazy character. I wanted her to be a really despicable and just not very nice woman. Definitely.
She did it.
He has a questionable character and questionable integrity, coupled with a sort of crippling self-knowledge of his relative lack of talents.
I met Mrs. and President Obama, and it was just, I thought that I was gonna vomit all over them because they've sadly done some damage.
I'm not a man that enjoys wearing a dress. For me, as an actor, it's like if somebody goes to Walmart to work, they put on their uniform.
As Michelle Obama.
Going out making people laugh.
I will eat my neighbors.
Oh, God.
As kids, as you do, you play cowboys and Indians, and never once did I want to be the cowboy. Never once. I wanted to be the Indian.
Warren.
What was the question?
I'm attracted to young people, boys, girls. I mean, my two favorite groups are the elderly and the young.
And of course, Jerry Sandusky as Joe Biden. Of course, he molested a lot of children at a lot of wrestlers and stuff at Penn State, I guess. Right? Yeah. That was pretty funny, right? It was pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. You guys saw the violence in New York City, and several police officers injured. A couple of the people who actually injured the police were arrested and then released immediately. That makes a lot of sense, right? Here is Terrence Monahan. He's the chief of police in New York City, and a couple of weeks ago, he decided he would kneel with the protesters. He would kneel with the protesters. Hey, we look at all the emojis on the parody. Anyway, he decided he'd kneel with the protesters, and when you kneel with these people, Black Lives Matter and also Antifa, all you are doing is becoming prone. All you are doing is essentially showing your weakness. And he did, and he was summarily beaten a couple weeks later. Officers and then released from jail with no you're doing is showing weakness when you do this. When you kneel, or like the idiots in Rockville, Maryland, who got together and they got on their knees and they dear God, to black people, please forgive me, I'm white. And the people who washed the feet of the black people in Charlotte and all that, and the police officer laid in a prone position. All you're going to do when you lay in a prone position with these people is get run over. And Terrence, I hope you learned a lesson, because honestly, as a man your age and as a man who's been in law enforcement, you should have effing known better, and you showed what an incredible idiot you are. I don't kneel before anybody. And I don't want to be preachy and all that, but, I kneel before God. Occasionally kneel before my wife when I say, I'm really sorry I didn't do everything around the house. And I know last night, we got in a little argument. I'm sorry. Never mind. Bill de Blasio is such a fool. Dear God in heaven. Let's move on to Chicago. Chicago, everybody, where in Grant Park there's a big statue of Christopher Columbus. And, of course, they, I guess, haven't got the memo that Donald Trump says you're going to go to jail for 10 years if you do this. And I hope and pray that many of these protesters are captured. However, here are the police officers, little graphic video of them under siege, and this is why we need DHS and we need the National Guard and possibly even the Army in places like this. God, I just want a line of National Guard. I want some armored vehicles, and I want a lot of tear gas and rubber bullets. Because honestly, it's time for the children to be spanked. We cannot exist like this. If you don't like a statue, you petition the government, you vote on it, and you remove it. But this sort of shit has got to stop now. This shit ends now. If you want to bring it to my hood, you will be met with a force that Democrat mayors will not greet you with. Or you want to bring it to a conservative city, this shit don't fly. And I'm going to tell you, if you support this, you believe this is going to propel Joe Biden into office, even though he has no idea what office he's running for, dear God in heaven, you are wrong. There is a groundswell, a quiet groundswell of people who are suppressing their feelings, holding them back, and saying, there will be a day when this is turned around, and I will be a part of that. And that will be at the ballot box. And if it doesn't happen at the ballot box, it'll happen in other ways. Here's a little drone footage from Chicago with the mob. There's the mob around the statue, trying to tear it down. They decapitated the statue. And there are the police under siege. And this is where you need overwhelming force against the mob to disband them and to get rid of them. They are only emboldened when you kneel and do stupid shit like this. Black Lives Matter activists and Antifa militants mocked a police officer in front of a group of a group of other police officers and family members. Apparently there was a police officer who was tragically killed the day before. The officer, I guess it's in Bothell, I'm not sure, making fun of and deriding the dead officer who died, was ran over the day before.
I know what you're doing, Ben.
About Bobo was that poor asshole that got run over on a scooter.
Yeah, he's okay, though. He's in the hospital, though. He's recovering. They released him, actually, I think. I think he's okay. No real lives were lost. No real people were lost. Have you guys seen the movie They Live? I actually saw it recently. Now, it's one of my all-time favorites now. I gotta probably watch it when I get home. If you guys let me, if you don't shoot me in the face. But,
not exactly sure what that's all about. But give somebody a microphone and they think they own the world. I just want to just shove it, bap, maybe knock a couple teeth out. Just knock a couple teeth out. When you whip that microphone out, you try to blare it into my face. There was a shooting. Tony McBride shot and killed Daniel Hernandez, 38 years old, downtown L.A. in New York, or in April in L.A. He was walking toward her with a carpet knife, a box cutter, and he was involved in a multi-car accident, got out of the vehicle and refused to listen to instructions to stand still, and he was shot. His daughter, and it's a shame that his daughter is 14 years old, and she had such an a-hole for a father, but unfortunately, his father was an a-hole. And he got out of the car after the accident and went after the police officer. The police officer just happens to be a really good shot and took the man out. Here's the video. You cannot approach an officer with lethal force and expect not to be shot.
Hold on. Any unit in the vicinity, 13.
Partner, right now, when you get cover?
Supervisor 100.
Oh, everybody! Go! He might be running. Hey, man! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands, man! Stay right there! Drop the knife!
He's not staying there, and he's not dropping the knife.
Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Drop it!
And that would be the result of going after a police officer with a knife. Now, here's why you shouldn't have messed with Tony McBride. She is also an incredible marksman.
You ready? Stand by.
Perfect. Wow. I think I'm in love. You cannot approach an officer with a deadly weapon and expect anything but lethal force to be presented to you. Here's a little video of another open carry individual who just happens to be kind of hot.
Oh, I have a sign that says Trump won't get over it, and as always, I'm open carrying. And this guy said that he is scared of my gun.
I'm scared of people showing up to peaceful situations with guns.
I carry my gun all the time, sir.
It's really funny that on college campuses, that words are weapons, and if you say something that somebody disagrees with, it is a weapon, and it threatens people. They say it threatens people, and the reason why they do it is they say that it shuts them up. If you say that your words threaten me and are a threat to me, then consequently there's some sort of legal recourse. She is an open carry person, and this guy is saying that he's afraid of her because he doesn't want an open carry. He's not afraid. He's a wuss. He's a wuss. If I saw her carrying a gun, I'd be like, and I was like 20-something, I'd be like, I really like your gun. You want to go have a drink?
I carry my gun all the
And, of course, I would be summarily rejected.
time, sir.
Yeah.
He then proceeded to say that if he was black, I would
She'd be like, don't you see I'm hot? You have no chance.
have shot him already. This is what we're up against, folks.
Yeah, a bunch of stupid wusses. Bunch of stupid wusses. Another day, another hate crime. This at an airport, captured on camera. A bunch of black people beating up on a white couple. And then we've seen a lot of this lately, and I hate to discuss race like this, but we've seen a lot of this the last few days. And the problem is that no airport security got involved. This is ridiculous, actually. Here it is. We've seen at least a dozen instances of this in the media in the last 2 weeks. This is the sort of incivility that I've been talking about for years. And I'm not just talking about a race. I'm talking about incivility in general. Or you could stand and videotape somebody being beaten and not get involved and not stop it. Oh, there they are. Now they're being Michelle's. They're being attitudinal with a big old chip on their shoulders. Because there's like a Karen. There's Karen. You know, she's like a white middle-class woman who yells at you for not wearing your mask when you go into Walmart. These are Michelle's. These are people who talk smack and have a big chip on their shoulders and think the world owes them something.
That's all you get.
Michelle's and Karen's frequently appear on Jerry Springer. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's nice. That's nice. Do you know they're having COVID parties, you know? And yeah, do you blame people for saying, you know, F it, let's just have a COVID party? I mean, we're living in fear every damn day of our lives. And I'm not afraid, by the way. I've been going to work for 5 effing months and meeting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. All right? And to teachers and governors who say that schools should not be in session, I say, get your asses to your classes. My kids have been at home. My daughter has seen her freshman year in high school disappear into the ether. My son has seen his sophomore year at the University of Kansas disappear. We haven't seen concerts in months. The NCAA tournament was not held. All the dreams of those seniors were flushed down the toilet. The baseball season is shit. And now we're looking at who gives a shit about the NFL season? I'm not going to watch this year. We can't even begin to count the damage and the restaurants that have been closed, the businesses that have been closed, the billions of dollars in damage that has been caused by this farce. And isn't it any surprise that people are going a little effing nuts and saying, you know what, just give me the fucking virus. Just give me the virus so I can get it and get over it. Massive street parties, Osceola County, Florida. Held intentionally to spread the COVID. Florida gang members are organizing. I don't know who's organizing. Get you blame them. It's like, you know, screw it. Just give it to me. I'm tired of living in fear.
Maybe like, I'll say 70 to 100.
Could be worse. Could be a herpes party. And there's an idiot dancing in the middle of the street. It kind of looks like a Black Lives Matter party. Very much like that or an Antifa party. I guess that person is dancing in front of the police car. Oh, are we going to twerk? Oh, of course, you're so drunk you fell on your ass. That's fantastic. Make sure to send that copies to all of your parents and your relatives. What an idiot. Fox 35 WOFL has done a bunch of exposés, and they're really good, actually. They just did a story last week, and they found hundreds of testing sites in the state of Florida giving 100% positive results in the state of Florida, which has caused the number of positive tests of cases of COVID to go through the ceiling. And it's a freaking lie. It's a lie, and it's going on everywhere. But it's an election year. Yeah, I said it. It's an election year. That's what this is all about. That's what it's all been about. That's what all this nonsense has been about. That's what all this BLM and Antifa stuff has been about. It's not about George Floyd. That disappeared into the rearview mirror of history a long time ago. It's because this year is an election year. In Europe, in every industrialized country in the world, they sent their kids to school and everything is fine. But here it cannot happen. Because here we have Democrats who actually believe it is more important to take Donald Trump out of office than to watch people suffer, to watch children not go to school, to watch businesses go out of business. It is the most disgusting and foul thing I have ever seen in my life. And just when you think the Democrat Party can't sink to a new low, they do it again. And they're doing it now. Here is the Fox 35 with a guy who died of COVID. He was in his 20s, which is very rare, almost never happens. But it's not the whole story.
Well, Charles, they really haven't given us much of an explanation at this point. The way we found out is I was asking the county health officer about 2 coronavirus deaths involving people in their 20s and whether they had any underlying conditions. Then one of his answers surprised us.
The first one didn't have any. He died in a motorcycle accident.
Okay, see, a motorcycle accident is not a pre-existing condition. It's an existing condition that resulted in death.
New questions tonight about the accuracy of the state's coronavirus death numbers. Orange County Health Officer Dr. Raul Pino telling us one person reported to have died from COVID was killed in a motorcycle accident. So was it removed from the data?
I don't think so. I have to double check. We were arguing. We were discussing and trying.
We were discussing, yes.
To argue with the state, not because of the numbers. I mean, it's 100. It's not make any difference if it's 99. Yeah. But the validity that the fact that the individual didn't die from COVID-19, died in a crash. But you can actually argue that it could have been the COVID-19 that caused him to crash.
It could be argued that the COVID-19 caused him to crash. Wow. This is honestly, this is so ungodly corrupt. Dear God in heaven, it's so ungodly corrupt. So Anthony Fauci is this little dweeb who's been in charge of the narrative. He's followed the advice of Imperial College in London, and consequently, the country has been destroyed rather than protecting those who are vulnerable. He shut down the entire country. He's always overestimated the number of dead. Have you noticed the number of dead have really, really decreased? They're down to a trickle. Although the number of cases have increased dramatically because of states like Florida where they are lying about it. But he got featured in Style magazine. This is really important that he would be featured in Style magazine. Here is a report from my network, Newsmax.
I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love. Love's going to leave me.
Who's that guy?
How is an 80-year-old man sitting in the backyard of his place, and obviously the retaining wall near his pool really needs some work. If you look at the bottom there, I mean, look at all the grout that's falling out there. Is this really stylish?
Giorgio Armani? Is that Tim Cook apple?
How is that stylish? Look at the socks with the shoes. The shoes need to be shined, and the grout needs to be replaced.
Guy? Nope. It's Dr. Fauci chilling by his pool on the cover of InStyle magazine. He kind of looks like he thinks he's all that, doesn't he? We do have a pandemic going on right now. Is this a time for special, fancy photo shoots? I don't think so. I kind of like that music, by the way. You don't have to turn it down yet. Oh, we do. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a time. It's not a time. It's utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous to have him on InStyle magazine during a supposed pandemic when people like what's his name, Chris Cuomo, is freaking out because Donald Trump takes a picture with some black beans from Goya. Unbelievable. Let's move on to some other stuff, shall we? I think we should. Country Time Lemonade has announced their Littlest Bailout program for the littlest entrepreneurs. These are children with struggling lemonade stands. I'm going to start with a story out of Suffolk County. Some kids with a lemonade stand, and then we'll get into the Country Time thing in a second.
Well, new tonight, helping those in need. A 6-year-old Suffolk girl and her family wanted to give back to a family impacted by COVID-19. So today, they held a pop-up lemonade stand. Olivia and her family put up their freshly painted sign saying fresh lemonade so people driving by could see the stand. Olivia's grandfather actually made the personalized stand just for her.
She's not wearing a mask, and neither are those people. They need to be shut down.
The family made sure that those stopping by would be safe, so they placed X's on the ground so people would know to stand 6 feet apart. They also had Lysol and hand sanitizer available. Olivia.
Oh, let's just have a delicious glass of lemonade from somebody wearing rubber gloves. Literally, a year ago, you'd be like, really? You're going to be serving lemonade with rubber gloves? I'm not going to drink here.
Says her lemonade stand.
That's a little weird.
Will help others.
We're selling lemonade because we just want to bless other people.
That is very sweet. Thank you very much.
The family says they contacted the pastor at their church and will be donating the money to a family in need.
That's nice. Okay. Let's see what Country Time is doing for entrepreneurs who've been put out of business because people are so effing terrified of coronavirus. They can't go down to the street corner and buy a cup of lemonade from some kids just trying to raise some money.
It's lemonade stand season.
Lemonade! Lemonade for sale!
But this year, things are
Again, she's not wearing a mask. Does she want to kill everybody?
looking dry. And those small business bailouts are going to not-so-small corporations. Steakhouses, sports teams, oil companies. Big guys muscling little guys out of the way? That doesn't seem right. But now, the smallest of small businesses are about to get some help. Country Time introduces the littlest bailout. Stimulus checks to help kids preserve the
It
value.
wouldn't bother me so badly, but Country Time has no lemons in it. Did you know that? You probably don't know that if you're like a millennial. Country Time lemonade has no lemons in it. There's no lemon juice in it at all.
Use of lemonade stands.
It's never been lemonade. It's lemonade flavored drink.
Honest work and entrepreneurship while putting a little juice back into the economy. So, when life gives you social distancing, make lemonade. Apply for a relief check at countrytimebailout.com.
Okay, yeah, okay, it's cute. All right, I'm not so crazy about having your kid rely on a bailout. I don't think that's really a good life lesson. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, don't worry, kids. The government will bail you out. But it is private enterprise, and then Country Time is taking the money and they're giving it to kids, and it you know what, it did what it did. It became viral, and you know that's what these things are all about. That's what it's all about. A lot of weirdness associated with COVID, and a lot of people. And another one of the great tragedies is that people have been buried without their families being there for memorial services. I'm not sure who put this together, but it's pretty darn funny. It is a virtual funeral, and what could go wrong when you have your virtual funeral on Zoom?
Dearly beloved. Clara, can you turn the volume down on the organ? Thank you. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here on Zoom.
Am I late?
Hey, Fred, haven't seen you in ages.
Oh, hey, Tom. Sorry, it has to be under these circumstances.
Can we get back to the program?
Sorry. So sorry.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here.
I don't hear anything.
We can hear you.
And now I hear it.
Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here on Zoom to lay to rest Sean O'Reilly.
Sean O'Reilly? I think I'm at the wrong funeral, sorry.
That's so rude.
I just wanted to let you know why I was leaving.
I take it there's no food gathering after this?
No, it's virtual food actually. I don't know who did that, but that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Bubba Wallace. A couple weeks ago, there was a noose supposedly in his garage, and he's a NASCAR driver raised by white parents. He mixed race person, and there was a noose, but it really wasn't a noose. It was just a thing to pull down the garage door. And Bubba Wallace played along, and acted butthurt and acted like he was some sort of a victim, even though he's never been a victim in his life. And the thing that made it the worst was that he went along with people who would believe the worst about his fans and the worst about those who work in the pits. That's what the whole hurtful thing that was, that the national media was finally able to say that, yeah, all NASCAR fans are a bunch of hillbilly racists who hate black people, and that somebody would infiltrate the garages of the racers and put a noose up to threaten them. And all these noose sightings have all been fake, because lynchings are not happening in this country. They're not happening in the country. All right, so get over that shit. It's a lie. It's not happening. It did happen, and it's awful. But the thing that made it the worst was that Bubba Wallace played along, and he decided to use the sympathy of people, and also go along with the narrative that NASCAR people are a bunch of racist rednecks from hell, and so are the people who work in the pits. And he threw everyone that supports him to the wolves. And that's why he was booed soundly when he was introduced this weekend.
Starting sixth in the number 43 World Guard Technology Chevrolet from Mobile, Alabama, Bubba Wallace. Rolling off fifth.
Yeah, you know what? Nobody cares. You screwed the pooch, buddy. You screwed the pooch. This is funny. This is a police officer. I'm not sure if this is in Portland, but some punk-ass kid was sticking his phone in the face of the police officer. This is a really short clip, but it's glorious. Watch. Let's watch that again. Boom. There you go. Mom, I'm going to need a new phone. Also, can we have chicken nuggets and french fries for supper tonight, Mom, as I go down to my basement? I've got a couple more videos I want to do, but I'm kind of running out of time, and I don't want to bore you anymore, but I want to wrap things up with something positive. Can I do that? Hello, Jody and Stuart and Greg, and I haven't acknowledged everybody who's here. Stacy and Allison and my friend Chris Salcedo. Really, thank you for joining me, Chris. It means a lot to me. Brenda and Jody and Ryan. Ry, what up, buddy? I miss you, man. Is the Montgomery County Fair canceled this year? Because I miss you working in the grilled cheese tent, my brother. I do miss you, and I miss your mom. Tell Lori I said hello. Tell Lori Ricka. Tell her I said hi, will you? Okay. This is a video, and this is going to rip you up. I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to rip you up. And this is a man who lost his 20-year-old daughter. And she was an organ donor. And her organs were donated. And the recipient of her heart just happened to be a young black man who had suffered a heart attack. And he was given weeks to live. The father of this young woman biked 2,600 miles across the country to meet this young man. There are so many things that divide us. This is beautiful. And this will be the last thing I share with you tonight, okay? So check it out. If you have some tissues nearby, you might want to have them ready. Got mine right here. Because I've seen it, and it's beautiful. Here it is. So he wasn't biking across the country to meet him, but on this bike trek, he stopped to meet the young man who has his daughter's heart. Watch this. Brought a stethoscope so Dad could hear his daughter's heart beating. Told you. She is. That father never questioned the race of the kid. That father never said, what color is the skin of the person who's getting my daughter's heart? That's it. That's it for tonight. Whew. Just tired of this division and this bullshit. And it's not 1968 over again. It's the country is what we just saw. The country is just what we saw. The outliers are the ones who are causing all of this nonsense around the country, and it's gonna end. It's gonna end. It's gonna end, and we're gonna get back to a better place. And I'm done, and the children need to have their asses spanked. Okay. Are you with me? I think you are. We're done with this. Statues coming down and police officers being pelted and injured and the violence and the mobs and the Antifa and the Black Lives Matter. We're done. The Black Lives Matter has been exposed. They're a lie. The country is what we just saw. Doesn't care about color. All it cares is about helping. It's benevolent. It's kind. It's wonderful. It always has been. And it always has been great. And suck it if you don't think it did. Okay. Thank you for joining me tonight, guys. I appreciate it. Order shirts here. Okay, we've got about 100 designs. tpublic.com, look for conservatees. There's I'll start listening when you stop burning shit with the Blue Lives Matter flag. There's hashtag I'm done with the NFL, hashtag done with the NBA. They're all there. If you would please order something, that would be great. My friend Sam Cangelosi and I have been working very hard on these, and if you would please order something, that would be great. Thank you, Ron, and I appreciate the blessings. And Jeremy, good to see you as well. It really is good to see you guys. If you would please share this video with other people. God bless you too, Carol. I love you, baby. And Brian and Jody, you guys are terrific. Have a glorious evening. I'm going to go cook for some friends and hang out. And I want to say my new friend Kelly, who lives in the neighborhood, and he brought me by some sweet corn today. And he's a conservative, and he's a good and decent man, and his wife, they live right up the street, and it's really nice to meet you. And if you guys are listening, Kelly, I appreciate being invited to your home last night to hang out for a few minutes and listen to my ramblings. All right, God bless you guys. You want to write me, carsonontheradio@gmail.com, carsonontheradio@gmail.com. Facebook, obviously, you know where that is, and Twitter, it is at Rob Carson. God bless. Good night. See you soon.